Let's dive right in. When you think of an airport's control tower, what comes to mind? Radar screens, maybe? All those planes lining up for takeoff? Well, today we're looking at something a little different. A quiet, digital revolution that's completely changing how every single action in that tower is managed, logged, and communicated.
I mean, just look at it. This is the command center. We're talking about an environment where every single second counts, and every decision has huge, massive consequences. This is air traffic control, a high-stakes job that absolutely depends on a seamless, perfect flow of information.
So that brings up a really critical question, right? With so many moving parts, everything from routine runway inspections to sudden emergency alerts, how do you guarantee that nothing, and I mean nothing, gets missed? How do you move beyond old-school paper logs and radio calls in a world that demands absolute precision?
So the challenge is pretty clear, isn't it? The tower itself needs a major upgrade. Let's dig into what it really takes to modernize this critical hub for the incredible complexities of 21st century aviation.
And here's the solution. It's called the AT-Elog and self-briefing tool. So what is it? Well, think of it as a super specialized digital system. You can use it on the web or on an iPad, and it's built specifically for air navigation service providers to automate all those daily tasks and just make everything way more efficient. Now, the whole philosophy behind this system is really smart. First off, it's highly configurable. That just means you can tweak it to fit the specific rules of any airport. It's also super user-friendly, which is a must, right? In a job this stressful, the last thing you need is clunky software. And really, its core mission is just to boost the productivity of the people guiding our planes.
Okay, so how does this whole thing actually work? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the system's architecture. You'll see it's not just one single app. It's more like a whole suite of connected tools that all talk to each other.
The whole system breaks down into three main parts. First up, there's a web application. This is for the higher-ups, the administrators and management. Then, number two, you've got the self-briefing app, which runs on an iPad. This is what the air traffic control officers, or ATCOs, use to get all their crucial info before a shift. And finally, part three is the E-Log app, also on an iPad, and this is the big one. It completely replaces that old-school paper logbook for every single daily entry.
And this is where you really see that seamless flow of information. Just picture it. An administrator updates a safety protocol from their computer at their desk. Boom. That update is instantly available to an ATCO on their iPad moments later. It's all about making sure everyone is working from the exact same playbook, in real time. No confusion, no outdated info.
Okay, so that's the theory, but what does this actually look like in practice? Let's zoom in and see how this system really streamlines the practical day-to-day work of an air traffic controller.
All right, so here it is. This is the E-Log dashboard. This is the main screen an ATCO is going to be looking at. And just notice how clean and simple it is. You've got these big, clear buttons for all the routine stuff, and then you have that impossible-to-miss red emergency button. In this kind of environment, the entire design is about speed and clarity.
But here's the really crucial part. It's how these functions totally transform the old way of doing things. Think about it. Instead of scribbling in a logbook that a runway inspection is done, you just tap a button. Instead of getting on the radio to report a fault with some equipment, you create a quick digital report that can be tracked. It digitizes everything. Staff changes, aircraft diversions, you name it, making it way faster and creating a perfect digital record.
Now, this brings us to what might be the single most critical function of this entire system, how it performs when things go wrong. Because in an emergency, communication isn't just important, it is everything.
Every single safety protocol, every emergency plan out there is built on this one fundamental principle.
So check this out. This is how the system ensures that communication is instant and reliable. When an ATCO hits that big red emergency button and fills out a form for anything, from a fuel spill to a medical emergency, the system doesn't wait. It automatically and instantly blasts out SMS and email alerts to a predefined list of key personnel. The fire department, airport security, management, everyone who needs to know is notified within seconds. It's a total game changer.
So when you put all of this together, you're really looking at the blueprint for the future of air traffic control. It's a future built on enhancing productivity, guaranteeing safety, and embedding regulatory compliance right into the technology itself.
And that last point on compliance? That is a really big deal. This isn't just about making things easier. It's about adhering to incredibly strict aviation regulations. With built-in checks, the system makes sure every log is compliant, which, you can imagine, makes audits and oversight a whole lot more straightforward. So, to sum it all up, the core benefits are pretty hard to argue with, right? Productivity gets a massive boost by automating all those manual tasks. Safety takes a huge leap forward with those instant, foolproof emergency alerts. And compliance becomes built in, which offers some serious peace of mind.
Which kind of leaves us with one final thought. As air travel just keeps getting more and more complex, more flights, way more data, more variables than ever before, is moving to a fully digital system like this really a choice anymore? Or is it simply the inevitable next step for aviation safety and efficiency?